Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I'm bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we are diving into the world of Pokemon Legends Arceus and BDSP, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and talk about a handful of things that have kind of come out since the Pokemon Presents. A lot of people have been kind of diving into the information we have, the Japanese trailers, the Japanese website, and much, much more. And there's actually a lot of cool stuff to unpack in this video. So we're gonna dive in and we're gonna break it all down. If you guys enjoy our Legends Arceus coverage, be sure to hit that follow button, subscribe to the channel, of course, and make sure you guys like the video down below if you guys enjoy it. And let me know what you're most excited for in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Let's not waste any time and let's jump into the video. Okay, from Luchu's Twitter, and Luchu actually posting some pretty cool screenshots here of BDSP. We're gonna talk about BDSP first and then go into Legends Arceus. Some really cool screenshots from the Japanese website. You've got Starly battling off against a Bidoof. You've got this really cool shot of Piplup on the water, and it looks really good. The reflection of Dawn in the water looks super clean. You've got this Manaphy screenshot, which I think is really awesome. For those that don't know, Manaphy is gonna be a mystery gift, which I'm excited to have because it's been a long time. Maybe we can shiny hunt it, I don't know. Maybe there'll be a way you can encounter it. And then you've also got this nice Lucario shot. Love that they're gonna have day and night settings and all sorts of great stuff going on. I'm really excited to see how BDSP plays out. We've also got some really cool screenshots of the starter Pokemon and how you choose them in the game. Very reminiscent of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, so nothing too crazy there. We've also got some new animations for various attacks, like Defense Curl, Wing Attack, and so on and so forth, as you can compare between Sword and Shield and BDSP. So that's kind of interesting to see how they've kind of changed some of those. So we'll have to see how many of these animations are different, what's different. Obviously, a new studio is developing BDSP, so we'll see how it all plays out when all is said and done. But a lot of exciting things to have happen with the upcoming launch of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. A few things that I wanted to mention before we switch gears to Legends Arceus is that we believe that this remake is based on Diamond and Pearl and not Platinum. And while it seems as though there's gonna be some Platinum elements like the Pokedex and some of the Pokemon you'll be able to find, I actually got this information from my man Austin John. He actually did some digging, and I'll show you guys what he covered here, is that there's a few screenshots here and we can kind of decipher that the location is actually based on the Diamond and Pearl marshland, not the Platinum marshland, because the location shown in this screenshot is from Diamond and Pearl. And there's another screenshot here that's actually inside the Team Galactic headquarters that shows something very, very similar, right? The Team Galactic headquarters that we saw in the trailer is from the Diamond and Pearl Team Galactic headquarters, not the Platinum one. So I think there is gonna be some hybrid stuff. We've seen things like the Girl in Floroma Town, which is only present in Platinum in an earlier trailer, being located in the game. So I think there's gonna be a mix between the two, but it does seem as though at least a lot of the locations in the game are indeed based on Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and not Platinum. Now here's something that I found to be pretty interesting, and I don't know how much of you guys care, but it makes a lot of sense. We know that when you defeat a Pokemon in the wild in Pokemon Legends Arceus, it just kind of shrinks and disappears. And while that may be like kind of like surprising, maybe disappointing, you can't just have a bunch of Bidoof carcasses laying around Legends Arceus, right? And when you think of Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild, when you defeat an enemy, it's something similar happens, right? They kind of shrink and they just kind of disappear. And that's what's gonna happen in Legends Arceus. So if there was any concern or confusion or questions about what was gonna happen, that's how it works. So there was some thoughts that maybe if you defeat a Pokemon, you can catch it at 0 health, but it seems like that's not gonna be the case. The standard capture mechanic of weakening a Pokemon and then throwing a Pokeball while they're still not fainted is still in place for Legends Arceus. Now this is something that's super duper cool, and we saw it written in the Pokedex, and we covered it in our previous video, but it does seem as though size differences are in this game. And if you watch my channel, you know I play a lot of Pixelmon on the channel, and Pixelmon has that, where you can find a super tiny or an enormous version of the same Pokemon, and that was something that took place in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee with size differences, but they weren't actually shown in the overworld or in the game in any way. But it seems as though Legends Arceus is gonna do that, and you can actually see two different size Wurmples here from what seems to be about the same perspective, same screenshot. I think we can agree that these two Wurmples are different sizes. Now, whether this was filmed at a different time or anything like that is still to be determined, but we do know that the Pokedex does show size and weight of Pokemon in a variation, so it seems as though you'll be able to catch a giant version of a Wurmple and a small version of a Wurmple, and presumably every single Pokemon, and that could be super cool actually. Maybe there will be like little quests to catch the biggest Magikarp in Legends Arceus or whatever. I think that that's actually really cool, and I'm excited to see that feature. It adds to the immersion. It can make certain Pokemon a little bit rarer if you find a super big one or a super small one and things like that. So I'm all about that, and I think that's really cool. Another thing to mention about this screenshot, since we're looking at Wurmple, is Wurmple has actually changed in Legends Arceus from what it is today. and that's in the fact that it's got the little horn on the back of his head. Isn't that crazy? My dude's got a little horn on the back of his head, and if you look at the original Wurmple from the previous games, it does not have that horn. So why did they add this horn to Wurmple's head, I may ask you? I have a Wurmple plushie, and it's outdated now. It doesn't have a horn on the back of its head. What are we gonna do about that? Begs the question of what are the other differences we're gonna see with these Pokemon, because I don't think this is a new form of Wurmple, right? Like, we're presuming that this is the same old Wurmple that we've known and loved or hated, whatever your opinion is. Why is there a horn on the back of his head? What's going on there? Are they gonna change other Pokemon and made slight tweaks to their designs? Because again, this is a game that's taken place in the past of the Pokemon world. What other differences are we gonna see when Legends Arceus finally drops? Another thing here from Eclipse on Twitter, and I'll put his Twitter link in the description, of course. This is very interesting. So Eclipse mentions that using the Agile style status moves like Calm Mind actually consume 2 PP instead of 1. And it says, we don't have any proof at the moment that the same is gonna happen with Strong Style, but if that's the case for both, this is one of the downsides of using those type moves. So we'll have to see whether or not Strong Style also uses and consumes 2 PP, but we know that Agile Style will consume 2 PP on a move like Calm Mind. There's also some other thoughts about these different moves. It says that when these stats get boosted on the screen, it doesn't actually say which stats were changed, but rather you have a little pop-up next to the Pokemon's name. There should be 5 different icons for attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. You can see some of the icons on the screen here, but instead of having that text message pop up, it's gonna just pop up on the screen. And I think that does make sense because we know in the context of Legends Arceus rather, that it's not gonna be a multiplayer style game, right? You're generally, we're assuming there's no online battles, there's none of that. It's a single player experience, so some of that text doesn't need to be in there. I can see them just using icons to show the different boosts and things like that, and it may just kind of abbreviate and kind of streamline some of the gameplay, so interesting to see, but just something that someone caught, Eclipse caught, and other people caught on Twitter, and I thought it was worth mentioning. And another thing that's interesting about these different styles is the game doesn't let you choose the style for Hex, Aqua Jet, or Swords Dance in a few of these pictures, but you can use styles with status moves like Nasty Plot, Calm Mind, and Bulk Up. So why can you use certain styles with some moves and not others? How is that going to change how these moves function in game? What is going to be different, right? We know stats are already going to be different. We've seen Pokemon with crazy HP stats at low levels, so we know that a lot of the stuff we know about Pokemon is going to be turned on its head, and that's going to be interesting because there could be a situation where a Pokemon that previously wasn't very strong, let's say like a Sea King, could end up being a lot stronger in this game because the stats are different, the way the gameplay mechanics play out different, the battle style mechanics are different. A lot could be changed and different in this game, so there's a lot to uncover and a lot to learn when Legends Arceus finally drops. So that's gonna be it for the news today regarding Pokemon Legends Arceus and everything in between. We had a lot to break down, a lot of new stuff, and this is probably gonna be it for a little while until we get some new information, as people have really dissected the trailers and gone through all the footage and everything. So until we get another announcement, this is probably the bulk of it, unless some other big stuff comes out, but there may be rumors and much more over the coming days, so keep your eyes and ears open and subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts on all the different mechanics there, like the size differences and even the horn on the back of the Wurmple. I think that's super cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.
Butterfree, go!